What's up, y'all? This is Ty, and I am here to review season 4, episodes 1 and 2 of All the Queen's Men. And the episodes are streaming right now on BET Plus. Shout outs to my cousin Wendy, because Wendy is the one who said, Ty, the show is back. And she loves this show, and she's the one who had me review the show in the first place. She said the show is back, and we watched it together. And the episodes are titled Hail Mary and Careless Whispers. So shout outs to her, and shout outs to all my lovely subscribers. You know who you are, and you are appreciated. Thank you for keeping this channel going and growing. Now, with that being said, let's get right down to a funny story. One of my aunts sent me an email one time, and it was like an audition for All the Queen's Men, and I'm like, Auntie, what am I don't think she's ever seen the show, number one, but what am I going to play on All the Queen's Men? But I said, well, then again, I am getting in shape. Maybe I could, I don't know. But I don't think I would want to play one of them strippers. I'd probably play a cop or something. Who knows? But hey, let's speak it into existence. But anyway, enough about me. Let's get back down to this episode. So we know last season, we thought Madam's father died. He faked his death, and he was been chilling somewhere on an island. And then she calls him and finds out that he's been kidnapped. So now this episode picks up with Madam calling the concierge like, yo, concierge, what are you doing with my father? And he tells her, listen, there are consequences to your actions. You put this on yourself, but I don't have your daddy. He told her, I don't have your daddy. And then he said, but you killed my wife. And she was like, who cares? Like, she's so, who cares about that? This is what this is about? Yeah, that was his wife. But the concierge does not have her father. His father-in-law, Santiago, has her father. And so I was like, aha, very interesting. So we see her distraught in this episode, and we see her, she wants to get her father back, and she calls on El Fuego, gotta say his name right, and she says, El Fuego, I need you to use your computer skills and track down these mofos that got my daddy. And she's getting upset because every time he does do a tracking and a tracing, it's getting scrambled. They said they're over here in Bermuda, Bahamas, everywhere, and the Kokomo, and they can't, y'all didn't catch that joke. They can't find her daddy. Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Jamaica, Montega, ooh, I want to take you to the Kokomo. Okay, anyway, they can't find her father. And she's like, listen, just find him. But she's getting an attitude with El Fuego like it's his fault. Look, he just trying to track him down. Listen, it ain't my fault they scrambled everything. But then I was thinking to myself, El Fuego, you have all this talent. Why are you out here stripping? Why don't you go get some better jobs since you can track things down like this? You need to be working somewhere else. But then I said, well, maybe Madam has him working here against his will. I don't know. I don't remember. Y'all refresh my memory. So anyway, this was a scene I don't know if I was supposed to laugh at, but it was a scene where she gets a phone call, and it's her father, and it's Santiago, and he's saying what all he's going to do. And he's torturing her father, her father's name is Cadillac, by the way, Cadillac. And that scene where he cuts his eye, whatever, and the blood gushed out of his eye, I laughed so hard. I don't know. I thought it was funny to me. I was like, they are torturing daddy. But then now you see her vulnerable. No, my father. All the horrible things Madam has done to somebody. Now she's like, oh, well, listen, this is how the business is. This is what happens. Also in this episode, we see Amp and Big D still fighting over, what's her name, Dime. And they, last episode, they were messing up the money. Y'all supposed to be out here dancing and doing all this stuff and getting down. Y'all want to fight out here on the floor, messing up the money. So we see Blue and Dime have backstage with them back in the dressing room. Like, yo, what is going on? This is ridiculous. And Blue tells Amp, you've come so far. Why? You've come so far with your AA, sir. Why now? Why are you cutting up and acting up now? Get it together. Straighten it out. And then here comes Big D with, I think you owe me an apology. And Blue was like, Where you think you at? Shut up. That I thought that scene was very funny. Also, we learned here that Detective Davis, remember she was messing around, tipping and dipping with Doc. Well, she done took the shirt that has some DNA and she's going to take down the DNA of the girl that he killed, but she's going to take down Madam. And so apparently she's working with the DA and they have this whole thing that they're going to take down Madam. But I was confused because I thought she was working with Madam now. But I guess she's not working with Madam. That was all, even though she slept with Doc and all that stuff, I thought she was in Madam's pocket, but I guess not. So she's working to take Madam down. Doc is like, he comes home one day and then realizes that he decided he wanted to do laundry and he can't find the shirt. And so he realizes, oh wait, something's going on. She must have it, whatever. And then we see this another character we're introduced to. We have Midnight getting it on with some very pretty young lady. And we see, I think she's going to be a recurring character because we see them dealings and having sex and all this other stuff. And, that's going to be interesting right there. So another thing that was very interesting is Miss Tandy asked Babyface to get her a gun. Now, I was trying to figure out why she was outside and why Babyface came outside of the club in a robe. I was like, she couldn't just go inside and ask him or wait till he got home and ask him. But she told him, get me a gun and I need it like tonight. So he goes to Midnight and asks Midnight for a gun, and that's when he gets a gun. And what on earth does she need a gun for? You know what she needs a gun for? She needs a gun so that she can attempt to kill the DA because she's in the pocket of Madam. And she shoots and she misses because she ain't really about that life. And that was kind of crazy right there. We also meet another crazy new character in this episode. And this is, what was the guy's name? I know I wrote it down. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm older and forgetful. Smoke. We're introduced to Smoke. And, when Madam's right-hand man is out there dumping bodies for Madam, he runs into Smoke. And apparently he knows Smoke from somewhere. And he's like, oh, yeah, I could tell Madam about you. I'll let Madam know this. And so they're back there. They're back there dumping bodies. And I was like, this is crazy. These are just a bunch of ruthless, heartless people. So that was interesting to see Smoke. And very interesting. So now, we go to a part where they're scrambling, right? Where El Fuego is scrambling to figure out where Madam's daddy is. And he realizes when Concierge calls for a second time, he's managed to track Concierge and he realizes, oh, they are in Mexico. So she's like, you know what, crew, let's go. We pack up the crew, get the machine gun. We are going. She says, come on, Tommy, we going. We get the machine gun and we're going out here to Mexico to get my father back. And I said, okay, interesting stuff right there. Really interesting. So she got the machine gun and in the next... This scene was crazy. She gets all this shooting and carrying on. They get through to Concierge. They kill off his people while he was about to kill somebody. And they make Concierge tell them where her father is. So now we're going into episode 2. That scene when they attack those people, Santiago's people, I mean, they went in there. There's a whole army of folks, but you just got Blue, Tommy, and Madam all by themselves. Madam with this big Rambo-like machine gun, lighting the place up. Lighting the place up. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. So they get to Santiago, and her father's there all bloody and bandages and messed up. And they're like, what's going on here? I'm like, what's going on here? And he's like, oh. he's saying, the stuff that villains say, and but first I will blah 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 blah. And then his right hand man just faints, and then he faints. And I'm like, what the? Apparently, Madam had time to gas the place, I guess. Now they got masks. They put the mask on, and then the next scene is her torturing Santiago. And I was like, okay. Okay. Very interesting here. Very, very interesting. And so she's torturing Santiago, and she told him, I'm gonna make an example out of him. She got him up on the stake, almost up on the cross, almost like Jesus or something. I said that was interesting how they did that. And they had him up on the thing and tied up, bloody. And she says to him, by the way, your son-in-law told me exactly where to find you. And as he's going on to glory, he goes, and by the way, my son-in-law is the one who brought your father to me. Bam! How you like them apples? So now Madam's like, oh, but she's pissed off now because the concierge was behind all this. But remember, the concierge wanted a reason to get rid of both his father-in-law and, he killed two birds with one stone. Listen, let her kill my father-in-law for me. And, that's why he grabbed her father. Very cool, clever move. Very, very clever move. All right. Now, we move into finding out, remember, what's her name? Trouble and Champ. And we see Trouble. Remember, they got snatched up. Basically, it looks like Madam has them because we don't see Champ, but we see Trouble down here. Oh, my God, please don't kill me. Down in the basement, worried about what's going on. Because remember, they owe the Rock Boys. They stole from the Rock Boys. That's the name, right? The Rock Boys. And the Rock Boys want either Champ or Trouble killed. So they have to make a decision who they're going to kill. And am I the only one that loves Carla? I love the character Carla. I need to see more of her this season. I want to see more. I know Madam and her don't get along. They need to start getting along and working together because I really like them together. But anyway, she comes in there and she asks Madam, listen, what's going on? Who you going to kill? Which one y'all going to kill? Y'all need to kill them both. Y'all got to make up something. Somebody got to die. So Madam says, listen, I'll handle that. And then we see a scene where she goes down there and she asks Trouble what she wants. She says, Trouble, who should it be? Should it be you or him? And Trouble's like, listen, Champ is the one who was behind all this, maybe. And she said, well, you could go ahead. And then she tells Blue she has some other plans where she's going to, I guess, pit those two against each other. Very interesting. Another interesting thing that happened in episode 2, we see that Dime and homeboy Big D, they get it on. But what looks like it was going to be this romantic love scene is short-lived because he gets it. He talks to sweet talks her. First day out he runs into her at the restaurant. He manages to get her to sit down. Then he comes over to the job early where she's at, and then they're talking and laughing and googly-eyed. And he says, "I want to, let's have some fun." He takes up on stage and seduces her, dances, being real romantic. Next they get naked. They on the stage. They starting to have foreplay. Then they start having sex. As soon as he comes up short. He releases himself because he was so excited, and she's like, "Bro, that really it was that good that you just done." And that dialogue was so ridiculous and so unnecessary. I was like, "Whoa, what is this?" This is the comic relief because I was cracking up because she's like, "Yo, what was that? Was it that good that you just had to release that quick? You couldn't hold it?" He was like, "Yeah, no, yeah." Then it turns out the condom broke. I said, "Oh, Lord, let me guess they're going to make her pregnant." But then she mentioned something about being on the pill, and that whole thing was hilarious. And she's like, "Yeah, that's it? You done already? This, that, the third?" Then she has the nerve to say something about she didn't want to catch no STD, and he corrected and said it's STI now. And I'm like, hold on. You don't want to, you should, first of all, you slept with another stripper previously, and now this is the second you worried about STDs? Get out of here. Now you worried? You laying on the stage of the strip club getting banged, and just, I was like, come on with the STD thing. Let's knock it off. Knock it off. But the condom broke, but she says she's she says that she has a what are you saying? She's been taking the pill, so she's okay. But I'm like, and then he said, I think a little got inside. That whole thing was like, who wrote that? That whole scene was I was like, that was so unnecessary. Did we need that? Did we really need that? That was crazy. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Miss Tandy is shaking in her boots and nervous and petrified. And we see this throughout the episode. Even when she speaks to the DA and she gets a chance, the DA comes over to her house and they having wine or what attempt to have wine. She goes and gets the gun like she's going to shoot her, but she couldn't bring herself to do it. And I was like, yeah, she's not built for this. And she ends up telling Babyface what happened and what she did, and that was the gun that he got for her. And she tells him what happened. And she's like, listen, I'm going to really need you to talk to Madam and help me, please. She plays this damsel in distress. And you know us guys, we love when our women in this damsel in distress and needs us. And he fell for it. And she's like, ooh, that worked. So that was interesting. That was very interesting. And another interesting thing is like this new character that we met, Smoke. Smoke comes to the bar, and I'm to the club, and he's looking for Tommy, and Tommy's not there, and the security stops him, and security clears him. He said, oh, you forgot I had this stun gun and this and that. And the security goes, oh, wait, I can't let you in now. So he punches the security guard in the nose, and his nose bleeds, told him to hold it up. Then he even tasted his blood. I was like, yo, this dude is crazy. But here's where I was confused. Why you didn't check him outside? And what kind of security guard are you that you're letting, you missed all these other weapons on him? He needs to be fired immediately. Immediate. But you should have checked Smoke outside. But anyway, this was, I think the second episode was better than the first one. It was kind of interesting. And I'm curious to see what Madam's going to do now that Madam knows that Concierge is the one who fed her father to his father-in-law. You know, that's the one who gave her. And that was interesting. But I'm really curious of what's going to happen in the next episode. And she's saying she wants to introduce Smoke to the concierge. So Smoke is coming off crazy as hell. So that's really going to be interesting. And I see they're bringing back this storyline, El Fuego and the girlfriend thing, because his ex-girlfriend's father came and asked him for help. So that's an interesting little side story they got going on. But overall, I thought the second episode was better than the first one. And that's all I have. Tell me your thoughts. If it's something I missed, let me know down below. That's all I have for now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. And lastly, don't forget, if you want to do your song request, put your song request down in that last video where I was singing. And thank you for the feedback of the songs that you would like to see me sing. Thank you. That's all I have for now, and I will see you all in the next video.